Have you ever done something and immediately thought, why did I do that? You promised yourself you wouldn't blow up at your partner. You swore you'd stop self-sabotaging at work. You knew exactly what you were doing was wrong, and you did it anyway. Carl Jung called this the shadow, and he believed it's the single most important thing you will never learn about in school. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what your shadow is, why it controls more of your life than you realize, and most importantly, what to do about it. Carl Jung was a Swiss psychiatrist in the early 1900s. He was a student of Freud, but he broke away because he believed the unconscious mind was far more vast and complex than Freud imagined. Jung believed that the human psyche has multiple layers. At the top is your conscious self, the you that gets up in the morning, goes to work, and talks to people, the self you think you are. But underneath that, Jung said there are massive parts of yourself that you have pushed down, hidden, and denied, because at some point in your life, someone told you those parts were bad, unacceptable, shameful. Maybe you were told as a kid that anger was wrong, so you buried your anger. Maybe you were told you were too much, so you buried your ambition. Maybe you were told showing vulnerability was weak, so you buried your sensitivity. All of those rejected parts, Jung called them the shadow. Here's the key insight. They don't disappear. They go underground, and from underground, they run your life. Jung said something that sounds almost unbelievable at first. He said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Let me show you what that looks like in real life. Example 1. Have you ever met someone and instantly, intensely disliked them, even before they did anything wrong? Jung called this shadow projection. What you dislike in them is something you've buried in yourself. If you hate how arrogant someone is, there's usually a part of you that wants to be bold and confident, but has been told not to be. Your shadow is reacting. Example 2. Overreaction. When your response to a situation is way bigger than the situation deserves, when a small criticism sends you into a spiral for 3 days, that's your shadow. That little comment hits something buried deep. Example 3. The things you moralize about most strongly. Jung noticed that the things people judge most harshly in others are often the things they are most afraid of in themselves. The loudest moral voices often have the deepest shadows. This isn't about blame, it's about awareness. Your shadow is not your enemy. It's just the parts of you that haven't been given space yet. Your shadow didn't appear from nowhere. It was built piece by piece throughout your childhood. Jung believed that as children, we are born whole. We contain everything: joy, rage, tenderness, wildness, creativity, fear. But then the world starts shaping us. Parents tell us what's acceptable. Teachers reward certain behaviors. Friends mock other behaviors. Society draws lines around who you're supposed to be. And every time you got the message, that part of you is not okay. You split it off. You put it in a box. You pushed it into the shadow. By the time most people are adults, they're only living a fraction of who they actually are. The rest is underground, unexpressed, and looking for ways out. The shadow usually comes out sideways, through outbursts, through passive aggression, through self-destructive choices, through your dreams at night. Here's where it gets practical. Jung didn't just describe the shadow. He gave us a process for working with it. He called it integration or shadow work. The goal isn't to destroy your shadow. You can't. The goal is to bring it into the light, to acknowledge it, understand it, and reclaim the energy that was locked inside it. Here are 3 starting points. Step 1. Notice your triggers. Keep a mental note or a journal of the moments when you overreact. When someone makes a small comment and you feel a disproportionate surge of emotion, pause. Ask yourself, what does this remind me of? What part of me feels threatened right now? You're not looking for a logical answer. You're looking for a feeling. Step 2. Examine your projections. Think about someone in your life who irritates you intensely. Write down exactly what it is about them that bothers you. Then, and this is the hard part, ask yourself, is there any version of this that lives in me? Have I ever felt the urge to be this way but suppressed it? You're not saying the other person is fine. You're saying that your intense reaction is information about yourself. Step 3. Create space for the rejected parts. If you buried your anger, find a healthy way to let it out. Exercise, writing, Honest conversation. If you buried your creativity, pick up a brush or a pen. If you buried your sensitivity, let yourself cry at something. The shadow doesn't need to run your life. It just needs to be acknowledged. Here's the big takeaway. Your shadow is not your enemy. It's actually the source of some of your greatest potential energy. Jung believed that some of the most powerful people in history, artists, leaders, innovators, were people who had done the hard work of integrating their shadow instead of running from it. The parts of you that you've rejected aren't flaws. They're untapped parts of who you are. If this resonated with you, in the next video, I'm going to break down Jung's concept of the persona, which is essentially the mask you wear for the world, and how it's slowly suffocating your real identity without you knowing it. Drop a comment below. What part of yourself do you think you've been hiding? I read every single one.